The moment I heard my mother-in-law say, "If you stay with her, we're done with you," I thought my marriage was over. I was standing at the bottom of the staircase in the home my husband and I had shared for almost 4 years. I could hear voices coming from the living room. His mother, his father, his older brother, and my husband, Marcus. They thought I was upstairs. They thought I couldn't hear them, but I heard every word. "You have one choice, Marcus," his mother said. "You either leave that woman, or you lose this family." My heart stopped. Then Marcus said something that made me even more confused. "Okay." Just one word. "Okay." I covered my mouth with my hand. For 4 years, I had believed my husband would protect our marriage. I believed that when his family pushed, he would stand beside me. But as I stood there listening to him, apparently agree to abandon me, I realized something I had never considered before. Maybe I didn't know my husband as well as I thought I did. And what I didn't know was that Marcus had been keeping a secret from his family. A secret so big that, by the end of that night, the people who had spent months trying to destroy our marriage would be begging him for mercy. But before I tell you what happened, if you love emotional stories about marriage, family betrayal, shocking secrets, and unexpected twists, subscribe to Mind Maze Tales and turn on notifications. Because this story is one you won't forget. My name is Danielle Carter. And this is how my husband's family tried to destroy my marriage without realizing my husband had already prepared for their attack. I met Marcus Carter at a charity event in Atlanta. I was 29. He was 31. He was tall, quiet, well-dressed, and had the kind of smile that made you feel like you were the only person in the room. I wasn't looking for a relationship. In fact, I had just gotten out of one that had left me emotionally exhausted. But Marcus was different. He didn't rush me. He didn't try to impress me with money. He didn't tell me what I wanted to hear. He listened, and somehow, that made me fall in love with him. 6 months later, he proposed. We got married in a beautiful ceremony surrounded by friends and family. Well, most of his family. His mother, Lorraine, smiled throughout the ceremony. But something about that smile always felt forced. After the wedding, I began noticing little things. Lorraine would compliment my dress, and then tell Marcus that his former girlfriend, Tasha, would have looked better in it. She would look around our apartment and say things like, "Marcus used to live so much better before he got married." At first, I ignored it. I thought she simply needed time to adjust. But then there was his father, Harold. Harold barely spoke to me. Whenever I entered a room, his conversations became quieter. His older brother, Darius, was worse. Darius was 6 years older than Marcus, and had always believed he was the head of the family. He constantly reminded Marcus that their father had built everything. Their family owned several commercial properties around Atlanta, including a construction company called Carter Development Group. Marcus worked there as an executive. Darius worked there too. And according to everyone, Darius was supposed to take over one day. Marcus never seemed interested in fighting him for it. That was one of the things I loved about my husband. He didn't compete with people. He simply worked. But after we got married, his family began blaming me for everything. If Marcus didn't attend a family dinner, Danielle is keeping him away. If Marcus bought something for our home, Danielle is wasting his money. If he traveled with me, she is separating him from his family. I started feeling like I was on trial every time I entered their house. Then came the first major warning. It happened during Thanksgiving. Everyone was gathered around the dining table. Lorraine looked directly at me and said, "Danielle, when are you planning to give us a grandchild?" I smiled awkwardly. "We're taking our time." Darius laughed. "Taking your time?" Marcus looked at him. What does that mean? Darius shrugged. Nothing. I'm just saying. Marcus is 35 now. A man needs to think about his legacy. I didn't understand why that comment felt so personal, until Lorraine looked at me and said, "Some women know how to build families, some only know how to build careers." The table became silent. Marcus put his fork down. "Mom," she smiled. "What? I'm just talking." I looked at my husband. He squeezed my hand under the table. That was Marcus. He didn't always fight loudly, but he made me feel like he was beside me. At least, I thought he was. 2 weeks later, Marcus came home from work unusually quiet. I noticed immediately. What happened? Nothing. Nothing. "Marcus," he looked at me. "It's work. What happened at work?" He hesitated. Then he said, "Darius thinks I should step away from a project." "What project?" He shook his head. "It's complicated." I didn't push. But that night, while Marcus was sleeping, his phone rang. I glanced at the screen. It was Darius. The call ended. Then a text appeared. "We need to talk before Dad finds out." My stomach tightened. The next morning, I asked Marcus about it. He stared at me for a few seconds. Then he smiled. "It's nothing, baby." I laughed softly. "You've been saying nothing a lot lately." He didn't laugh. He simply kissed my forehead. "I love you." Then he walked away. That night, I couldn't sleep. Something was changing. I could feel it. 3 weeks later, Marcus told me his family wanted us at dinner. I almost said no, but Marcus insisted. "Please come with me." "Why?" "My father wants to talk to us." His voice sounded strange. I should have listened to that feeling in my stomach. Instead, I went. When we arrived, everyone was already sitting in the living room. Lorraine, Harold, Darius, and Darius's wife, Camille. Nobody smiled. Marcus sat beside me. His father folded his hands. "Marcus, we need to talk about your future." Marcus frowned. "My future?" "Yes." Darius leaned forward. "This marriage is destroying your relationship with the family." I felt my chest tighten. Marcus looked at him. "Excuse me?" Lorraine pointed at me. "Since you married her, you've changed." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "I haven't stopped you from seeing your family," I said. Lorraine laughed. "You don't have to. You control him without realizing it." Marcus stood. "That's enough." His father raised his hand. "Sit down." Marcus stared at him. For a moment, nobody spoke. Then Harold said, "We have made a decision." My heart began pounding. Darius looked directly at Marcus. "You're going to leave Danielle." I thought I had misheard him. Marcus didn't move. His father continued, "You have 2 weeks." Lorraine's voice became cold. "If you stay with her, we're done with you." I looked at Marcus. I expected him to defend me. I expected him to shout. I expected him to tell them they had lost their minds. Instead, he remained silent. Darius smiled. "See? Even he knows this is serious." Then Marcus finally spoke. "Okay." My entire body went cold. I looked at him. "Marcus?" He didn't look at me. Lorraine smiled. "Good." Harold nodded. "Then we understand each other." I stood up. "I need to go home." Marcus followed me outside. I got into the car without saying anything. He entered the driver's seat. The entire ride home was silent. When we reached the house, I walked inside. Marcus followed. "Danielle." I turned around. "How could you say okay?" He looked at me. "Because I needed them to believe me." I froze. "What?" He stepped closer. "Listen to me." "No." "Danielle, please." "You just sat there while your family told you to leave me." "I know." And you said okay. I had to. Why? Marcus looked toward the windows. Then he lowered his voice. Because my family is not trying to save me from you. He looked directly into my eyes. They're trying to protect themselves from me. I stared at him. What does that mean? Marcus walked to his office. He locked the door. Then he opened a drawer and pulled out a small black folder. He placed it on the table. I opened it. The first page was a financial statement. The second was a contract. The third was a bank transfer. My eyes widened. Marcus. He sat down. Do you remember when my father said Carter Development Group belonged to the family? Yes. He lied. I looked at him. What? Marcus took a breath. 3 years before we got married, my grandfather passed away. I remembered that. Marcus continued. Before he died, he created a private trust. I looked at the documents. He left controlling ownership to me. I couldn't speak. Darius doesn't know. My mouth fell open. Your brother doesn't know he doesn't own the company? No. Your parents? They know I received something, but they don't know how much. Marcus shook his head. No. Then he showed me another document. It was a legal agreement. My hands began trembling. What's this? Marcus looked at me. My grandfather suspected someone was stealing from the company. I looked up. Who? Darius. I felt the room spin. Marcus explained that his grandfather had discovered millions of dollars in suspicious transfers, but before he could confront the person responsible, he died. The investigation continued privately, and Marcus had been quietly collecting evidence. I stared at my husband. Why didn't you tell me? Because I didn't know who I could trust. The words hurt. Not even me? Marcus's eyes filled with emotion. I wanted to protect you. By keeping me in the dark? Yes. He reached for my hand. Danielle, I knew something was wrong months before you did. I looked down at the documents. So your family has been trying to break us apart because they need me out of the picture. Suddenly everything made sense. The phone calls, the pressure, the accusations, the demands, the sudden hatred. They weren't trying to protect Marcus. They were trying to control him. And if they could convince him to leave me, they believed they could isolate him. But there was one thing Marcus hadn't told me, and I discovered it 3 days later. I was cleaning his office when I found an envelope hidden behind a bookshelf. It had my name on it. Danielle Carter. I opened it. Inside was a letter. It was from Marcus's grandfather, and it was dated 6 months before his death. The letter said, "If you are reading this, then the people closest to me have probably already begun turning against you." I stopped breathing. I continued. The letter warned Marcus that someone inside the family would eventually try to destroy his marriage. Not because of Danielle, because they would need him isolated. The final paragraph said, "Never trust anyone who demands that you prove your loyalty by abandoning the person you love." I sat down. Marcus had known about this letter, but he had never shown it to me. When he came home, I confronted him. "You knew." He looked at the letter. Then he closed his eyes. "Yes. You knew your grandfather predicted this?" "Yes. And you still let me believe your family hated me because I wasn't good enough?" His face broke. "I was trying to protect you." "No, Marcus." I shook my head. "You were protecting yourself." He didn't argue. For the first time since I had known him, my husband looked defeated. I was scared. That confession changed everything. He wasn't the powerful man everyone thought he was. He was a son terrified of losing his family, a husband terrified of losing his wife, and a man trapped between two worlds. I walked toward him. Then let me stand beside you. He looked at me. You're sure? I nodded. But if we're doing this... I pointed at the documents. We do it together. Marcus nodded. And that's when our secret plan began. Marcus told his family that he was considering divorce. Lorraine celebrated. Darius became confident. Harold suddenly became friendly. They thought their plan was working. Marcus began attending family meetings without me. He stopped arguing with them. He agreed with everything they said. And secretly, he recorded everything. Every conversation, every demand, every threat, every discussion about the company, every time Darius mentioned money, every time Lorraine talked about separating Marcus from me. But there was one meeting that changed everything. Darius told Marcus, "Once you leave Danielle, Dad will finally put you back in charge of the company." Marcus nodded. Then Darius said something that made Marcus's blood run cold. "After that, we can clean up the remaining paperwork." Marcus asked, "What paperwork?" Darius smiled. "You know exactly what I'm talking about." Marcus didn't respond, but inside he knew. Darius wasn't just stealing money. He had been manipulating company documents, and now he wanted Marcus to sign something that would permanently transfer ownership. The next day, Marcus brought the document home. I read it. My stomach turned. "They want you to sign away everything." Marcus nodded. "Exactly. And if you refuse? They'll expose me publicly." "For what?" He looked at me. "For a crime I didn't commit." That was when I understood how dangerous the situation really was. They weren't simply trying to break our marriage. They were trying to destroy Marcus's reputation. And if that happened, they could take everything. 2 weeks later, Lorraine invited everyone to dinner. She believed it was the night Marcus would announce our divorce. I knew better. Marcus had prepared everything. He had lawyers ready. He had financial investigators ready. And he had copies of every document. But we didn't tell his family. When we walked into the house, Lorraine smiled. "Marcus." Then she looked at me. "You came too?" I smiled. "Yes." Her smile disappeared. Darius stood. "What is she doing here?" Marcus calmly removed his jacket. "She's my wife." Darius laughed. "Not for long." Marcus sat down. "That's what you think." The room became silent. Harold looked at him. "What does that mean?" Marcus placed a folder on the table. "I know about the transfers." Darius's face changed. Lorraine looked at Harold. Harold looked at Darius. Marcus continued. "I know about the missing money." Nobody spoke. "I know about the altered contracts." Darius stood. "You have no idea what you're talking about." Marcus opened the folder. "I know you moved $480,000 through 3 different accounts." Darius's face went pale. Lorraine began trembling. Marcus continued. "I know you used Dad's signature without permission." Harold stood. "Darius?" Darius looked at him. "Dad, listen," Marcus interrupted. "And I know you tried to convince me to sign away my grandfather's ownership." Darius stared at him. Then he laughed nervously. "You can't prove any of that." Marcus smiled. "Yes." He placed his phone on the table. "I can." A recording began playing. Darius's own voice filled the room. "Once Marcus leaves Danielle, everything becomes easier." Lorraine covered her mouth. The recording continued. "We just need him isolated." Harold turned toward Darius. "What have you done?" Darius's confidence disappeared. But then Lorraine stood. She looked at me. "This is your fault." I couldn't believe it. "Mine?" "Yes. You poisoned him against his family." Marcus stood. "No." His voice was calm. "You did that yourselves." Then Marcus opened one final envelope. I didn't tell you everything." Darius stared at him. "What now?" Marcus looked at his father. Grandpa didn't leave the company to me because he wanted to reward me. Everyone became silent. He left it to me because he knew what was happening. Harold's face changed. Marcus continued. He knew someone in this family was stealing. Then he looked at Darius, and he knew who it was. Darius stepped backward. "No." Marcus placed another document on the table. A letter, signed by their grandfather. It named Darius, but there was more. The letter stated that if Darius attempted to take control of the company, Marcus had full authority to remove him. Darius began shaking. "You're lying." Marcus shook his head. "The original document is with my attorney." Then the doorbell rang. Everyone turned. 2 lawyers entered the house. Behind them was a financial investigator, and then a police officer. Darius's face went completely white. Lorraine began crying. "Marcus, please." Marcus looked at her. "You gave me an ultimatum." She nodded through tears. "You told me that if I stayed with Danielle, you were done with me." He looked at me, then back at his mother. "Well?" He took my hand. I chose my wife. Lorraine collapsed into a chair. Harold looked down at the floor. Darius was taken outside to answer questions about the financial records. And just like that, the family that had spent months trying to destroy our marriage had destroyed itself. The investigation lasted months. Darius was eventually charged for financial crimes connected to the company. Harold stepped away from the business. Lorraine disappeared from our lives for a while, and Marcus became the new president of Carter Development Group. But the money wasn't what changed him. The betrayal did. One evening, months later, Marcus and I sat on our balcony. The city lights were shining below us. He took my hand. "I owe you an apology." I looked at him. "For what?" "For making you feel alone." I smiled sadly. "You were scared." "I was." "You were trying to protect me." "I was." "But you forgot something." "What?" "You don't protect someone you love by shutting them out." He looked down. "I know." Then he kissed my hand. "I know now." We sat quietly for a while. Then Marcus said something I will never forget. "My family thought they could force me to choose between them and you." I looked at him. "But they never understood." He squeezed my hand. "You weren't taking me away from my family." I smiled. "You were building a family with me." He nodded. And that was the truth. Sometimes people will call you selfish when you finally establish boundaries. They will accuse you of changing when you stop allowing them to control you. They will tell you that the person you love is the reason you've changed. But sometimes, the real problem isn't the person who came into your life. It's the people who were comfortable controlling you before that person arrived. For years, Marcus had been taught that loyalty meant obedience. His family believed that if they loved him, he owed them everything. But marriage taught him something different. Love doesn't demand that you destroy another relationship to prove your loyalty. Love doesn't force you to choose sides. Love doesn't manipulate. And family shouldn't become a weapon. Almost 1 year after everything happened, Marcus received a package. There was no return address. Inside was a small envelope. He opened it. There was one photograph. His grandfather. Marcus turned the photograph over. There was a handwritten message. "You finally understand." Marcus stared at it. I looked at him. "What does it say?" He handed me the photograph. I read the words. Then I noticed something. There was another sentence underneath. "But there is still one person you haven't discovered." My heart dropped. I looked at Marcus. "What does that mean?" He didn't answer. He turned the photograph around again. On the back was a name neither of us expected. Someone who had been close to the family all along. Someone who had quietly helped Darius. Someone we had trusted. Marcus looked at me. "Danielle?" I whispered. "Who is it?" He looked toward the door. And for the first time since everything began, I saw fear return to his eyes, because the person whose name was written on that photograph was someone we had never suspected. And suddenly, I realized something terrifying. Maybe the betrayal wasn't over. Maybe we had only uncovered the first layer. Looking back, I used to think the worst moment of my marriage was hearing my mother-in-law say, "If you stay with her, we're done with you." I was wrong. The worst moment was realizing how many people had smiled in my face while secretly working against us. But the greatest moment was watching my husband finally understand that choosing peace doesn't mean choosing loneliness. He didn't have to abandon his family. He simply had to stop allowing them to destroy ours. And sometimes, that is the hardest choice a person can make. Not choosing between two people, but choosing between who everyone expects you to be and who you know you were meant to become. If you've ever had to set boundaries with people you love, remember this: you are not wrong for protecting your peace. And you are not selfish for protecting your marriage. If this story touched you, don't leave without subscribing to Mind Maze Tales. Here, we tell emotional stories about love, betrayal, family secrets, marriage, and the choices that change people's lives. Subscribe to Mind Maze Tales, because the next story might be even more shocking. And tell me in the comments, if you were Marcus, would you have chosen your wife and walked away from your family, or would you have tried to save both? I want to know what you would have done. Thank you for watching Mind Maze Tales. Until the next story, never ignore the secrets hiding behind a smile.